Lovely sunny morning, November, and we're going to make our way towards a wonderful fruiting tree, which has really got very tall after 20 years. We saw this earlier in the year, the dogwood from China with its yellow flowers stroke bracts. Now we've got its strawberry fruits. They are edible but insipid, I would say. It really is a very attractive sight in the early morning sun. Coming up by the Mediterranean fan palms and the Mediterranean cypress, which has grown phenomenally since I planted it 30 years ago. I see some colour at the background. Which is revealed to be an incredibly vigorous vine, Vitis cognetii, which I love for its big leaves and autumn colour. It's growing up a eucalyptus and occupying the part of the long border, which might seem a foolish thing to do, but I do chop it right down to the ground in the spring and lop a large amount of the eucalyptus as well. So they keep coming back for more, which is rather gratifying. Coming away from the Vitis vine, I'm taking you to my first plantings of winter camellias, and having planted them, I loved them so much I started planting more and more of them. I think you'll agree they make a wonderful show. The single, rather fleeting flowers belong to Camellia Hugh Evans, and the sheer quantity is fantastic. It goes on producing for weeks, starting in November to Christmas, and working its way rather attractively through it is Camellia Sparkling Burgundy. I think the two do make a really attractive combination. Hugh Evans is actually two plants, and one of them I got from our local cash and carry, which was extraordinary really, all those years ago. Around from Hugh Evans and Sparkling Burgundy, and in amongst the lovely bare branches of an Acer, we see the white, quite old variety of Camellia nerumigata. This has a characteristic which is a little pink tinge on the petal edge, which you can see here. Around the corner, tucked in under the autumn colour of a Coreopsis, there's another sweet little one, which I think is rainbow. We'll make our way around from Rainbow to see another couple, winter camellias, and in the meanwhile I've noticed the glowing colours of the ginkgo here, which is a low spreading form. Coming through, all the camellias in the winter don't actually come out all together, although the vast majority come out. And there's a very small pink, which is not actually much to write home about. But round the back, ducking under magnolia, black tulip, getting ready for March and April. I come across a lovely camellia called Crimson King. Plant I inherited from my father-in-law when he died, and quite a few of the plants from his garden have found their way into mine, where they are thriving, I'm glad to say. Coming down the old front drive, we're confronted by a beautiful miscanthus grass called Cosmopolitan. It's a variegated grass and is in full flower now. When we lived in the old house, we used to see this from the kitchen windows, quite a landmark. It's vigorous, and we have chopped it right to the ground and dug it up and replanted little areas of it, and it comes back even more strongly. But it is a lovely, lovely grass. Next to the miscanthus, we've got this species fuchsia, which promised rather a lot, but seems to be mostly leaf. And talking of promising a lot, I often come round to the corner here, to the wall, to see what's happened to my giant species dahlia, which has lovely mauve flowers with a yellow center, collected in Mexico. It promises a lot, but is a bit slow to start moving. And here we are in November, and it's still only just got its buds going, and may not flower before the frost, which is a shame because it has got very nice, as I say, mauve pink flowers with a yellow center. Of course, beneath it we still have some flowers on the nerine, which we saw in an earlier video of Marnie Rogerson. And here we have a coria, which is just beginning to flower, and it will flower all the way through to next spring. This one goes by the name of Peachy Cream. You can see it's absolutely covered in buds. And above the coria, still flowering of course, is the fuchsia Lady Boothby, with more flowers to come. And above it, just starting, you can see the catkins of Garrya elliptica, which will lengthen in December and form long tassels. Here we're passing a lovely Acer palmatum called Bloodgood. And way up, probably not be able to see it very well, is the liquid amber called Worplesdon, which now is so way up that it's difficult to see. However, we're lucky we've got gravity, because down on the ground is the pattern of its petals, which carpet the ground in a lovely way. Make a very colourful show where you can actually see them moving through past the last glowing leaves of the maples. I'll show you a maple which I think is the most reliable colourer in the garden, and probably most reliable in the southwest of England, where we don't get the hot summers and cold winters which encourage the fantastic colourings. But I think it's pretty good, and I'll show you as we come around the corner. We are first confronted by the beautiful yellow autumn colour of Acer palmatum sangakaku, which goes a lovely yellow and contrasts, I think, beautifully with the scarlet red orange fire of Acer palmatum Sakazuki, which, as I've said, is the most reliably coloured of all the Japanese maples that I grow here in the southwest. I'm just going up the trunk of a black beech from New Zealand, Nothophagus fusca, which has grown very, very tall and thin over the 40 years it's been here. Coming around the Nothophagus, another tree from when I started the garden, and that's an elm relative called Zelkova serrata. Again, it's formed an enormous tree. Anyway, the main thing is I'm coming along here by the side of the maple, Sakazuki, to show you the wonderful fronds of this Chilean fern, which is very dramatic and has a very dramatic name, Lophosauria. Now, the thing about the Lophosauria is that not only has it got these great big dramatic leaves, but they're also beautiful pale grey underneath. To prove the point, I'm going to grapple with one of them, one of the fronds, and there you see the grey under the leaf. Perhaps it's better grown on a bank where you can look under them. Coming back up towards the house, we pass another little group, 12-year-old group of the Paradise series, bred by Bob Cherry in Australia, and that one is Paradise Vanessa. And here we have a winter camellia bred in America, a beautiful white semi-double with a little centre. The last of the winter camellias I'm going to show you now is an old variety called Plantation Pink. Large pink flowers, and it has a delightful scent, as do all the Sasanqua camellias, which is a bonus. And so the scent sort of wafts about them on a still day as you waft past yourself. Delightful things.